think we're live.
Yes, we are.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes late because we were just trying to get everything set up and it's been a bit of a rush.
Yeah, sorry about that, eh? But we're here now. So.
We are here. I can't see any of the YouTube stuff because I was the one hosting it last time, so this is weird. But yeah, we're here. Hooray! It's April. We're going to recap March. If you're new to our channel, we each month look back over singles, albums, EPs that have been released. We talk about some gigs, although that'll be a bit different for us this time. We'll get to that in a bit. And to try and keep us on track, we time ourselves because we're terrible at just waffling on. So we need to get our stopwatches ready. And yeah, so welcome along. Also, we try and wear a different band t-shirt each. Oh, I've just hit the radiator. It's all going well here. So today I am going Cadillac 3, born and raised on American slang.
Very nice. And I am in my C2C 23 t-shirt. Please you just knocking my phone on the floor. Yeah, and then if I can do a spin. And that's all
very nice. Look, there they all are.
Yeah.
We actually did a C2C special a couple of weeks ago.
We did.
What I mean about gigs is we're actually going to talk about some gigs we didn't fit into the February episode from pre-March.
Yeah.
And we've already done C2C, which was the main thing that both of us went to in March. So you can look at that as a separate episode on both podcast platforms, and it's here on YouTube somewhere. Should we get going?
We shall, yes. Might as well kick off then.
Right. It is album times.
It is.
No, albums time. I don't know. Oh wow, this is very, very rough and ready today.
Look, it's 11 o'clock. It's a Saturday morning.
I feel like I should just go and get a beer and embrace it, really.
Yeah, I feel neither of us had enough caffeine or whatever it is that we need at this point. So.
Oh well, such is life. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I will come with. Let's be honest. It was a month of big records. Two particularly big ones.
One of which you will find here, another which you won't, and we're not sorry about that.
And if I'm being brutally honest, the main reason the other one isn't it is because it's 36 songs long, and frankly, who has the time?
Yeah. I mean, there's so much surrounding that. I think it's always going to be a bit of an elephant in the room, so we'll cover it now. Yeah. Neither of us were particularly big Morgan Wallen fans before the incident that then his fan base used to anti-cancel culture him that made him more famous.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up in a sentence.
Pretty much, yeah. In a kind of I'm not gonna, it's not in a I will turn the radio off if it comes on, but at the same time, it's kind of like I'm not that fussy.
I quite liked Dangerous. I have listened to the new one once.
Yeah.
And if I'm brutally honest, it just wasn't anywhere near as good as Dangerous. So
no,
regardless of whether he's the biggest, slightly now these days kind of controversial star, I don't think I'd have picked it anyway.
No, and it's honestly just, I personally have a view that we had this conversation about the Ernest record. It's too long. It's and I have issues about how it's been marketed as well, in that regard. And there's okay stuff on it, but it's probably not a record I will actually sit down and listen to again. But yeah, now we've kind of dealt with
so if you came here for that, I'm only a little bit sorry we're disappointing
but
you. But we're bringing you lots of good stuff.
We are, and there's plenty of discourse on that elsewhere. Grady Smith did a really good YouTube video on it. There's loads of other stuff, so yeah, plenty of that in it. But the one we are going to talk about, which I'm going to start with now, we've waffled, is Luke Combs' Getting Old.
I've set your timer.
Thank you. I really, really liked this. I will admit that I was not a big fan of growing up. Again, it's got some good stuff in it. I think Outrunning Your Memory is great. I think there's some good tracks on there, but it felt very, and we talked about this at the time when it came out, that it felt very retreading old ground. It felt like he'd made the same record again, and he hadn't really shown the bits, the stuff that was going on in his life in the way that other artists perhaps had when they were at that stage in their career. This, on the other hand, feels like what I wanted that record to be. It is mature. It's got a really rich 90s sound. Like there's loads of fiddle, there's loads of, you know, really rich instrumentation on it. But what I really like about it is things like how detailed stuff is, like, you know, something like Hannaford Road, for example, which, you know, that is such a specific title and such a specific story. Like, you know, okay, I mean, the story's like, you know, the context of it is like, you know, the girl that you're, you know, sneaking off with lives on a road that her dad basically built and named after her. Well, watching Beth lower the blinds, like, yeah, but it's that stuff, and it's things like, you know, on You Find Yours, where he talks about painting the room blue and kind of stuff, and it's like, yes, this is what I wanted from the last one, and it just it really does feel like this is Luke growing up and maturing, and still, you know, it's still got the sort of Luke Combs sound that you expect, but it's a real time up. Okay, all right. So have I got time to do the 3 songs and the 3 words?
3 songs and 3 words. Yeah.
Okay, 3 songs. Where the Wild Things Are, See Me Now. What did I say my third one was? I did write this down. And the part was the last track on there. And 3 words would be 90s, mature, stories, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's a much better record.
It's a vast improvement, and it's actually made me quite excited to see him in October now, which feels a bit far away, but at the same time, like,
yes, it feels like it's so far away, but it will come around like way quicker than we can hope. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the name. I wrote her name down and I can't find where I put it. Of the lady who plays fiddle on this record, because shout out to her, the fiddle playing on this is amazing.
It's not Jeannie Fleener, is it? Mainly because it's always Jeannie Fleener. So
it's not Jeannie Fleener, no, it's somebody I hadn't heard of before. It is. I'm looking at the wrong record. That's not helping me. Sorry, I was looking at Growing Up instead of Getting Old. It might be the same person. I haven't looked at the Growing Up credits enough.
I mean, I assume it'll be a lot of similar.
It is. Oh, come on, where is it? I found her listed before, and now I cannot find it.
Talk amongst yourselves, folks.
Yeah.
While we do this.
Where has it gone?
One person who's watching this, which I think might actually just be me.
No, I think that might be my mum.
Hello, Beth's mum.
Oh, I can't find it now. But anyway, there was a fiddle player that I thought was really, really excellent. I'm so sorry. She was great.
Well, if we find that, we'll add it into show notes or something.
Yeah, we will.
Yes.
Right. Anyway, are you ready?
Yeah. Give me, timer for you. Sorry, I have not had enough coffee for this. Okay, 2 minutes starts now.
Okay, my pick is Drayton Farley with 20 on High. It's very folk meets country. There's going to be some people out there being like, this ain't country enough, and I'm like, I don't care. It's a very quiet, understated album. It's very wistful, which I really, really like. It's the kind of music that is really nice on a sunny spring day, going for a walk or something like that. Very kind of Ben Howard, Every Kingdom era to it. I like that a lot. Sound-wise, it's kind of Jason Isbell meets Zach Bryan, but it doesn't get as rocky as they can in places. It's a lovely, lovely kind of, there's an acousticness to it that I really, really, really like. Very pretty, thoughtful, I'd say that my 3 words for it actually would be whimsical, thoughtful, and relaxing. And I think that sums it up quite well. I was drawn in by the lead single Norfolk Blues, although he calls it Norfolk Blues, which does wind me up a little bit because, yeah, we're British.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a really, really nice track. And yeah, I think my top 3 tracks would be Norfolk Blues, pronunciation aside, 20 on High, which is the title track, and the Alabama Moon, which is such a pretty song.
Oh,
really cute.
Awesome. You've still got 30 seconds if you want to add anything else. So
I just like how relaxing it is and how quiet it is, because sometimes you don't want something big and heavy. You want something just quiet, understated, that you can just enjoy in a quiet moment, but still not be sitting there in complete silence. And I feel that this record is perfect for that.
Yeah. All right. And with 5 seconds to spare, that's it. So,
I can't remember what your next choice was.
It is Meg McRee or Megan McRee, depending what she's called on various, because she seems to be called different things on different platforms.
Yes,
and we're not entirely sure. I mean, the front cover of her album says Meg McRee, so we're going to go with that.
Okay.
So the album is called "Is It Just Me?" It came out at the beginning of March, so I think it was lost in the wall and chatter. It's only short. It's 9 tracks, one of which is an acoustic version of one that's already on there. So I think it's just sliding into album territory rather than EP. But it's lovely. It's very mellow. It's very chill. It's got quite a playful feeling about it, which I really like. It's she's got a beautiful voice, just this gorgeous, sweet, so gliding vocal that just feels completely effortless. And there's just a really warm and like romance with a twist almost aspect to a lot of the writing, I think. And just again, a bit like what you were saying about your aspect, one of those very kind of mellow albums to listen to. Like I had it on while I was getting the train home this morning, like as slightly as prep for this. I'm just like, this is really nice, just kind of sit, chill, but also something a little bit to kind of perk you up as well. So I really like it. I think the 3 words to describe it would be folksy, fun, and uplifting, I think I'm going to say for it. And top 3 tracks, Mary Jane and Chardonnay, which is the opening track, which is really, really good. Tried and True, which is this really nice, pretty love song. And then I'm going to also say the title track, Is It Just Me? So yeah. That's my view on Meg McRee, which I really, really enjoyed, and would recommend. I think she's going to do very well for herself. So yeah.
Well done, with 1 second to spare. Nice work. I liked Mary Jane and Chardonnay. I have listened to the album and I do like it. She came on like a once my Spotify had finished what it was doing kind of thing, and Mary Jane and Chardonnay, I was like, oh, what's this? This is really good. So yeah, I really liked that a lot.
Yeah, excellent. And then I got the time already, what is your next one?
It is Jenna Paulette, The Girl I Was.
All right.
I didn't think this was out yet, and then found it had actually been released last week. So I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Ready?
All right. Yeah, when you're ready.
I really, really like this album. I believe it's a debut album, if not a debut major label album.
Yeah, I think she's done some EPs and stuff, but yeah.
It's really well-rounded. I think that's probably the biggest thing I can say about it. It feels like a whole performance in one go, which is what you want from an album, definitely. I'd not heard much of her before about kind of February time. And then I heard her single, You Ain't No Cowboy, and really, really fell in love with that song. I was just like, oh, this is great. And then Anywhere the Wind Blows followed it up a few weeks later. We actually picked that for a New Music Monday a few weeks ago. And I just think that the real rounded sound is such a good thing from her, especially as this kind of her first foray into real mainstream work, I believe. If it's not, I'm so sorry. It's got lots of fiddle and steel and traditional sounding to it, but then you also bring in elements of Western and West Texas. And I've actually not done much research on her herself. I have no idea if she's from kind of the Western side of America or not, or Texas. I've got a feeling she's from Texas, but that West Texas sound really comes into play as well, which is really nice. But it also feels really current and suitable for today. She feels like a modern female modern female country artist, but not leaning on the pop side, which is what I'm about to try and say. It's kind of the sound of Carly Pierce, but they went on a night out with Ashley McBryde and ended up out in the sticks. I think that's like how it kind of sounds all together. What really struck me is there's a real host of very big writers on this record. Rhett Atkins, Jeremy Spillman, Jessie Jo Dillon, Jeff Hyde, Casey Beathard all have cuts on this, plus many more, and Ashley McBryde. The song Fiddle and a Violin is Ashley McBryde co-write.
Oh, nice. I am going to say that's time. So.
Okay. 3 words: fun, heartfelt, and mature. And her top tracks are Fiddle and a Violin, which is the first proper track on it because it's got an intro track. Pretty Ugly, and Stop and Smell the Horses, which I picked because I'd already covered kind of a couple of them, so I guess I was cheating. But Stop and Smell the Horses is the last proper song on the record, and it's really beautiful.
Nice. She was actually, when I went out to Nashville, I saw her at Song Suffragettes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think I've still got a video of it kicking around on Instagram somewhere. And she played a song called F-150, which I think she's released a few years ago now when she was...
Now you say it, that sounds familiar.
Label. But she's really, really good. I thought she was great. So, very excited that she's now got to make a full album.
I'm really intrigued as to where she's going to go, because she isn't as poppy as people like Carly Pierce. Carly Pierce.
Come on.
Kelsea Ballerini and people like that, Mara Morris. I'll be interested to see what kind of path she then follows into a more mainstream sound. I think Meg McRee is probably a good basis of path she might follow.
I feel like there is starting to become a market for these more sort of traditional women with that more kind of did you see Casey Hoffman at C2C or not?
No, I didn't. But
she's very like that. She's got she's very much in that kind of vein, and there seems to be quite a big push for her. So I'm hoping that artists like Jenna will be able to build off the back of stuff like that potentially.
Yeah, I think that Ashley McBryde is obviously up there already in that territory. And I think it's the territory that Kaylee Hammack will end up in as well. Good stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Is it mine?
Moving on to EPs now. So we pick 2 albums, 1 EP and 2 singles each per month for anybody who's watching or listening for the first time.
And we do also have more singles on our New Music Monday post on our Twitter
at the end. So last month we read out all the ones that didn't make it into the episode but had been on there, so I will do the same for that.
So just for people that may be like, why are you only talking about 2 singles? That's why. And we try to talk about things that we didn't put in our
on social media. We talk about 6 every week.
We do, yes, including we also did a because it was Women's History Month in March, we did a female country artist special for our last one of the month. So
we did. I was quite proud of that.
Okay.
EP time.
EP time. Yes.
Off you go.
Okay, so this is a slight cheat because this is an album that's being released in 3 parts, but it's only got a 6-song. I'm calling it an EP, essentially.
I'd call it an EP.
It's an EP for this purpose.
There's a lot of refusing to call a spade in the industry at the minute. It's a visualization instead of a video. Everything's a project.
Which basically means I can put out as many songs as I want. But now I'm consciously wasting
time.
Carry on. So Okay, so this is Alana Springsteen's 20-something Messing It Up, which we've talked a little bit about Alana in our C2C podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago. I got to interview her for EF Country recently as well, and she was lovely. Had a really nice chat with her. So this is the first of what will be 3 EPs that will then all go together to make an album called 20-something. So it's got on it, so there's 6 songs on this one, 2 of which have been out in the world for a while. You Don't Deserve a Country Song, which we talked about that on the C2C podcast, but that is so much fun and a proper sing along and 2 fingers up to basically all your horrible exes. And Shoulders to Cry On, which is this really lovely, heartfelt ballad about, you know, coming off a breakup and being in your feelings and all that sort of thing. I would, then of the other tracks on this, despite questionable feelings about him, the duet with Mitchell Tenpenny, Goodbye Looks Good on You, is actually really good. I think their voices work really well together. It's got this real sort of bittersweet feeling to it. And then Tennessee Is Mine, I really like as well. I think that's got a real strength about it. I think I really like that one. So I think that if we're picking songs, those 2 would probably be my picks for songs from the EP that weren't already out in the world before this. Like, I will still always love You Don't Deserve a Country Song. I think that's just badass. But yeah, to describe it, I'd probably say poppy, playful, and exciting, I think would be the word I use for this. I think it's a really good record. I'm really excited to see what she is going to do next. And yeah.
Okay. Weirdly, I've only just realised this. My EP is also from an artist who was on the Introducing Nashville section of C2C, which is what Alana Springsteen was on.
Yeah, and also did songwriters, like popped up at.
Oh, right. Yeah, they both did. They both came out at songwriters for a song each. As Google yelling at you.
Google is yelling at me. Shut up, Google.
Google yells at our telly randomly, which is quite interesting downstairs.
Okay, she picked something really random though.
Okay, I'm ready for my EP, and I will
all right. Timer and go.
Okay, my EP is Tyler Braden's Neon Grave, and as you all know, it's very hard for me not to just repeat the words Neon Grave for a whole 2 minutes. I am obsessed with that track. It is
really good.
So good. This mainly took over my March, and by that I mean I just listened to Neon Grave, the track, repeatedly for a long time, which is why some of my album reviews were a little bit kind of rushed towards the end, as I was like, I haven't listened to anything this month. Just listen to this.
Fair.
And I also had to not repeatedly listen to the Neon Grave is the first track on the EP, and it took me quite a long time until I actually listened to the rest of the EP.
Yeah.
It's really solid though. I really like it, and the rest of it is just as good. I'd say there's not quite as much gritty, rocky sound to the other tracks on the album as there is on Neon Grave, which I think is why I really resonate with Neon Grave. But it's soulful, it's full of really thoughtful and detailed lyrics. Middleman is very specific and lovely. Really nice. We had a discussion about this. If 49 Winchester hadn't been announced for Luke Combs' support, we would not have been surprised to see Tyler Braden, because he really kind of has a similarity in his style to that. It's very current feeling, very like mainstream in the best way, if that makes sense. It's everything that you want from a country song.
Yeah.
It's hard hitting, it's upbeat, it's fun. And that just resonates through this album. Like, some of the songs are hard hitting and some of them are fun separately, I hasten to add. I'd say that the way I'd describe it is soulful, solid, and intricate. And it's been produced by Randy Montana, and I think that really comes through a lot in it. I'm guessing my time.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, the tracks would be Neon Grave, Wrong Right Now and Middleman.
Nice. Yeah.
One thing I missed very quickly, occasionally he sounds quite a lot like Brett Young, which I quite like.
Yeah.
But
there's that
kind of
little
Brett Young goes rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the conversation that we had, because we were talking about Little Red Wine, which was a song that he put out 6 years ago now, and then kind of slightly disappeared for a bit, and we didn't clock that it was him until, well, I didn't clock that it was him until he played that at a showcase in C2C week. Like, oh, it's you! And then
you told me, and my head exploded. I loved Little Red Wine when it came out, but it was kind of one of those. Solo Male releases song, don't hear from them again. Forget the name of the Solo Male. I'm so sorry, Braden. I did not remember your name. But in the way that people go, red, red wine, when people say red wine, a la UB40, in my head it goes, little red wine. And I've just been saying that for 6 years. And now I'm like, oh, it's this guy. I'm so happy.
Yeah, but when you were saying about him being a bit Brett Young goes rock, that's what I thought. It was like, it's rocky, but that was Boyfriend Country goes rock before Boyfriend Country was Boyfriend Country.
Yeah. So I spent a very happy day the other day just listening to Little Red Wine again a few times, which was good.
Nice.
Right. Singles.
Yeah. So my first one is Lukas Nelson and Lainey Wilson, More Than Friends. I mean, even just those two together as a concept, you already know and this is really good. Like, the title pretty much gives it away. It's friends kind of doing that should we get together, should we not thing, deal with the consequences in the morning, but their voices sound really good together. There's a like a sort of 70s vibe about it. Like, this would not be out of place on like the soundtrack of something like Daisy Jones and the Six. But it's got, which you again, you kind of expect this because it's Lukas and Lainey, and you know what you're going to get, like in terms of really good harmonies, this kind of, I've said playful a lot on the podcast today, but it's got this very playful quality to it, and it's fun and quite sort of carefree and not in this sort of angsty, oh, should we, shouldn't we? It's like, the heck with it, kind of. Yeah, do it now and deal with the consequences later. But I just think it works really, really well, and it's going to be one that I'm very intrigued to see what it's like as a live version as well, because obviously Lukas and Promise the Real are touring here in June, so that will be a lot of fun. But I think it's just a really good track, and I think it was everything that you hoped that it would be, basically. So yeah.
I'll admit, I've not actually heard it yet. I do need to listen to it.
It's very good. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we bothered with 3 words on the singles last time.
No, so that's just, all right. Do you want to go for your next one?
Yes. Laura knows how much I love this song.
Yes, I do.
I first heard it when she posted a clip of her singing it in a writer's round to Instagram or TikTok or one of the other. End of February. And then it didn't come out until last week. Oh, I'm so happy it's come out, though. It's called Heart on Fire in Mexico, and it's by Abby Anderson. Now, Abby Anderson had some much poppier sounding mainstream tracks a while ago. I'll admit, I meant to look up what the main single was from that era.
I can find that. You carry on. I'm going to look at that.
But she's come back. She left that record deal, went out on her own. I think she's released this independently. I don't know. No, actually, I don't think she has, but I think she's signed somewhere else. And she's come back much more, what I would say, true to herself. Whether she had fun doing the poppy numbers or not, I will never be able to know or say. But this just feels so authentic. And I think it helps that she's writing about her mum's story and her mum's how her mum came to being, for want of a better word, and the life that her mum had growing up in Mexico as a young child, and then she didn't have a good start in life, and then moving away from that. The wordplay, the specificity of it, the way that she talks about these quite hard-hitting subjects and just sings so beautifully. So basically the clip was the first verse and the chorus.
Mm.
And I've just been playing the clip to myself because I'm just like, I love this sound. And now we've got 2 other verses and the chorus coming through, so you get to hear more of how the story progresses. It is beautiful. She actually took her mum back to El Paso in Mexico, and I don't think her mum had been back from the post I saw about it, to film the video just outside El Paso, and it's stunning. And I've just been waxing lyrical about it for months. Well, a couple of months, however long it's been. And
no, it's fab. It's the big single, I think, if I've got this right, was Make Him Wait in 2018. Because I remember that she came to, it must have been the 2019 C2C then, and she was on the Indigo, and it was that very pop vibe and kind of she seemed to be doing all right with it, but if this is the direction that she's going, then more of this, please.
Yeah, it just feels so much more authentic. I liked Make Him Wait. It's not that I didn't like it, but this just feels very true to herself.
Yeah.
And she's a lot of fun to follow online as well. She's a very funny person. So yeah, love it. Really hope that we get some more from her soon. And more than anything, I really hope she comes over here, because I would be so happy to hear that live.
That would be brilliant. Like, I honestly think that I would love, like, I don't know if it's obviously a label thing or what, but I think her, and when Ashley does her next tour here, which I am guessing will probably be sometime early next year after her imminent next record is out, I think they would make a really good pairing.
I think it'd actually be quite nice to have her as, if Song Suffragettes do another, they bring some American artists over for Country Music Week. So obviously there is Song Suffragettes in London each month now, which is good.
There is.
But if they did stuff mixing up American and UK artists, I would like to see it in a songwriter setting, if I'm completely honest, because that's where I first heard it. And that's where I feel like it really shined. Like, the audience was silent, like, watching it. And the other people on stage were like, whoa, what is this? This is amazing. You see the guys that sat next to her being like, and so I really like to hear it in a songwriter setting, I think.
Yeah, and she's still super young as well. Like, she's,
I don't know how old she is, but she's not
I think I can't remember, she was a teenager when she was doing those tracks, when she had that first go.
Yeah, maybe.
But she definitely wasn't, like, I wouldn't say much older than very early 20s. So
she's got a good long old career in front of her.
We hope so. All right, so then my last single, speaking of someone who's had a long old career and doing very well in it, is Jason Isbell and the 400 Units, Middle of the Morning. So this very just snuck in on the radar because this came out on the last day of March. I feel like they're gearing up for a new record. I can't remember if I've seen any announcements about it.
Yeah, there is. It's June.
Okay, yeah. So this is the second single from this. And I really like this. It's got this real bluesy groove about it, which I really like. That's kind of, again, obviously something they've done a fair bit previously. There's a real soulfulness and a rawness in Jason's vocal on this as well. And it's kind of this contrast of, you think you're getting this very mellow, like chill song, and then it's about kind of wrestling with those inner demons and the exhaustion of, I guess that process of having a life in what's almost permanent recovery is the feeling of it, in that kind of, you get the feeling of, you will fight this and you will control it, but you will never get past it. And it just has there's that weariness about it that I think he captures really, really well, and this huge power and kind of but I think it's a really good song. I'm really excited for this record. And I mean, again, it's that kind of thing of, that you'll always get. I don't think there is such a thing as a duff Jason Isbell track. I think he is consistently good. He's produced so many like modern classics like Cover Me Up and If We Were Vampires and all things. But this one I think is a real standout, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to fit in with the sound of that record. So yeah, if you like stuff like the sort of bluesier side of Chris Stapleton, like things like You Should Probably Leave. I think you'll probably really like this as a single.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
The album is Weather Vanes, and it comes out on the 9th of June.
Nice. Yeah.
I knew I'd seen it somewhere.
Yes, we'll be keeping an eye out for that, and it will probably be in our review episode.
Yeah.
One of us will get it in there, I'm sure. So.
Yeah. I absolutely adored Reunions when that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, they're like a fabulous band, and they're still one I really want to see live as well. I know
both of us managed to miss that gig, and I'm gutted about it.
Yeah, it's like curses, but yeah.
Okay, my final track is Stephen Wilson Jr. and Hailey Whitters, both of which we were lucky to see last year, but they were in completely different gigs. Yeah. Stephen Wilson Jr. was the support act for Brothers Osborne, and he's a little left field, even for someone that's not like super mainstream like Brothers Osborne. Well, they are, but you know what I mean. They sit on that rockier side.
Yeah.
And I'll admit that we were both a bit like, I'd really, really liked his track 1994. It's got a slightly longer title than that, but I can't remember the rest of it.
Yeah, I'll find it.
We Were Young 1994, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then he was a bit unexpected on stage.
I think that's the way to describe it.
His tracks were really, really good. He was quite funny. But there was just something about it that was kind of a bit strange. But I enjoyed it though. It just was really unexpected, I think. And I was just like I don't really know what I was prepared to expect, because I'd only heard that one track, but it wasn't that. I did really like it. Holler in the Hollow, which came out on his little EP thing last year, was fabulous. And then Hailey Whitters played at C2C, and we love her, and Raised came out and things like that. And then they've come with this track together. Oh, one of the podcast cats is just winding herself around my leg.
Hello, mascot number 1.
Number 1, yeah, it was never. He's cute. He's gone now. Left us.
Mascot 3 abandoned me for the sunny patch. So
and they brought out this track together called American Gothic, which I think if you asked me what Hailey Whitters and Stephen Wilson Jr. would name a song together, that's very on brand.
It really is.
That. Yeah, it really works. It's a lovely, lovely song. It's kind of about kind of nostalgic life in America. The kind of, I guess it's kind of like telling the story of if you grew up slightly outside of the mainstream.
Yeah.
About slightly outside of stereotypical life. I guess that's kind of the story of it. But it's fun. It's quite upbeat. The harmonies on it are lovely. And it's just, there's a lot of references to American culture in it, but it doesn't feel listy. It isn't just a checklist song of all of these different things I need to get into this song. It's a genuine, the whole point of the song is looking at American culture. So obviously it is going to make all these references. And they're written in like an intricate and interesting way. So it doesn't feel like they're just listing them out at all. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it.
No, it's excellent. The whole of that EP is really, really good. Like, I think the devil is a really big standout on there. It's the drama and the darkness of that.
Just to confirm, the EP is the Stephen Wilson Jr. EP, not the whole. They didn't do like a whole EP together.
No, although that would be amazing.
I'd really like that actually.
Yeah, and the song is "Year to Be Young," 1994.
Year to Be Young, that's it.
Yeah,
that's close.
But he's done that. But he's done he's one of those artists I think who's really actively working to build a fan base here. I think I talked about in a previous podcast that I saw him again at Americana Fest in January, and weirdly, it was not it was quite a surprise to see him on there, and he didn't play to like a massive audience, maybe 20-30 people in the room, but it was that thing of, I think a lot of people went in not knowing to expect, and by the end of it were really engaged. So I think I'm sure I said before, but I feel he's going to surprise a lot of people at Highways.
Yeah.
which is next
I
month.
forgot he was coming to Highways. Yeah, next month.
Which is next month. Scarily, like
I feel like that's been on the calendar for so long, and now it's finally here.
December that we bought the tickets.
Oh no, it was before that. It was when we bought Kelsea Ballerini tickets.
Yeah,
I bought them on the same day. I think it was like September.
Yeah, or maybe it was then. But no, that's come around very quick. So
yeah, I'm excited to see him. I'm also excited to see him now. He's got another body of work under his belt, so there's going to be a bit more variety than just hearing the songs that we heard last time. Yeah, but I think he's very much in the fit. He's like, I'm not really surprised that he's on that show, because he feels like, having obviously done the Brothers Osborne thing, he's very much a fit with people like Kit Moore and Morgan Wade, and that's slightly more outside of the mainstream kind of thing. So I think that's all our albums and EPs and singles. I'm just going to read out the other tracks that we picked for New Music Monday in March that we haven't covered already, which was Pecos and the Rooftops, 5 a.m. We've already talked about Jenna Paulette's Anywhere the Wind Blows. I picked American Kids, the new version by Luke Laird, Laurie McKenna and the Barry Dean. I'm sad we didn't get to talk about that album, because it's kind of come out in 3 little EP parts, and it's also lots of songs that people already know, which is why we skipped over it. But there are 3 songwriters, and they're doing their own versions of famous, very famous country songs that they were part of.
Like it's stuff like Heartache Medication.
Girl Crush is on
Girl
there.
Crush, these big hits.
So this is the American Kids. Now remind me, I always get this wrong way around. American Kids is by Kenny Chesney, isn't it?
Yes,
correct. Not Tim McGraw.
No,
it's terrible that I get that the wrong way around, but for that particular track, to be
fair, it's middle-aged bloke in a hat.
To be fair, yes, you can boil it down to that. We also had a couple of Spring Breaks Back by Priscilla Block, Wrong Right Now by Tyler Braden, and Shoulder to Cry On by Alana Springsteen. I just realized we've covered them already. What else did we have last month? We also had Lucky by Meg McRee, Bloodline by 1,000 Horses. Bloodline by Logan Mize, and Don't Move to Tennessee by 1,000 Horses.
Yeah.
Zandy Holup, I'm not sure how to say her name. She's new.
I don't remember.
Runs in the Family, and Colours by Lathan Bryant, and The Finer Things by Brian Collins. Sorry, it's in a different post. That's why I got confused. What I would say about Zandy Holup and Stephen Wilson Jr. very quickly is, on the back of the terrible tragedy of another school shooting in America, in Nashville, and that's all we're going to say about it. It's not our place to talk about it. They did actually write a song together the day after called Praying in Their Crayons, and it is heartbreaking. It's beautiful, but it is heartbreaking. That is by the 2 of them. We then had Until Then by Donny Van Slee, Erin Kinsey's new track, Always Never, and the Zac Brown band version of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. This is another album I'd have loved to have covered, but it was a compilation album, so it doesn't really fit with what we do. But to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Rolling Stones, Nashville artists released a compilation album called Stone Cold Country, which is all their takes on it, and it is fabulous. But we got to hear Paint It Black at C2C, and we talk about it in the C2C episode. Oh, it was a moment. It really was. It was so good. But everyone's on there. Elvie Shane, Little Big Town, Ashley McBride,
Co-Wetzel's on it.
So many others.
Warren Treacy, you've Steve Earle,
Jimmy
Allen. I've got the list: Buzz Osborne, Lainey, Eric Church, Elle King, Marin, loads and loads and loads of people.
So it's a really, really good compilation album to go and listen to. Other singles we covered were Oh Ohio by Luke Grimes, He Set Her Off by Emily Ann Roberts, which is just and Next New Thing by Jake Worthington. And then we had our Women's History Month special, so all 6 tracks were by female artists, and we had Blonde by Tiger Lily Gold, Sweet Spot by Lindsay L, and Buried by Brandy Clark. And then Still Here by Rissy Palmer and Miko Marks. Too Much of a Woman by Roberta Lee, which is another top track. And Seasons Change by Caitlin May. So that is our little roundup of everything else that was on. So you can find those on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll link in the description to our profiles. But we do that every Monday. So we pick 6 new tracks every Monday and we put them on our playlist, which I will talk about at the end. So this leaves us 10 minutes to talk about some gigs. And now we have to remember which those gigs were, because we saved some that we couldn't fit into the February episode.
We did. And I need to remember. So
it is
my calendar.
Tenille Arts.
Yep.
Sykamore.
And
Kelsea Ballerini.
Okay. Yeah. So I won't go because I went
with Sykamore because I think that was the one longest ago.
Yes. So Sykamore is she is mostly kind of country pop. She was doing a show with I can't remember. He's a really famous songwriter. I've forgotten his name.
Jeff Hyde.
Yes. Yeah. And she was opening for him. I was going to stay for her show, but she was fabulous. Really, beautiful vocals, just this really delicate, soft vocal, and then this really fun, like upbeat, good energy track, like good energy tracks. She played Pinto, which is like probably her big hit, I would say, which is probably one of which I would probably pick that as the standout in terms of that it's just that really sort of carefree, sunny, young love kind of vibe about it, which I really like. Trying to remember because it's been a while what else she did, so bear with. I'll try and find this. Here we go. Oh yeah, a Record High I really liked as well, which is really sort of lush and twangy. Yeah, and just this gorgeous, they're putting that spin. You get those songs with the listing off the record titles. I just feel like there's a getting lost in that feel of it. And then you got things like Emotional, which was a new one that she's got. That if you're an Alanis Morissette fan, I think you'd really like that. It had that very kind of hand in my pocket, ironic sort of vibe about it that I love. And then what else was there? I think there's and also California King, which was that was a bit of again one of those flip your ex the bird type song, but possibly one of my favorite lyrics I've heard this year, which it was, "You think that I'll free fall, you're so Tom Petty," which is like I'm like, that's the best line.
That's brilliant.
Like, that's good.
That is good.
Yeah, just a really, really good show, and I really hope she comes back because I'd really like to hear. Like, I loved that album, so I'm really hoping I'll get to hear that.
I'd like to see her. I've not dug into her stuff much, but the one time I have encountered her is Ryan Kinder, who seems to be on the edge of country music all the time, but I really like him. He had a song with her in 2020 called Doom, which I really, really liked. Yeah,
no, she's really good, and I really hope that she does get to come back and do a bit more stuff here. So yeah, that's that one.
Tenille Arts, Alyssa Bonagura, who supported her.
Yeah, also popular.
Oh, your sound's gone a bit funny. Oh, we've lost you. Try again.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
You sound a bit tinny, but you're there.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, you're back now. There we go.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, folks. Right.
From the top.
Yeah, so Alyssa Bonagura, who was also at C2C. She's really good. Again, more in that sort of like a little bit like a folkier version of Lainey Wilson, I would say, but she's got some really good stuff. She has a song that's just come out called, I can't remember if it's called Jealous or Jealousy, but I really like that one. And another one that's called, I think it's called Paper Airplanes or Paper Planes. But I really like that as well. Just this very sort of dreamy, lush quality to it. Also sort of a bit of camera wobble then because that certainly kicked the table. But yeah, so she was Grace, and then Tenille was fantastic. So it was just a little acoustic set of hers at O'Meara in London as like a one-off show. She was, she's always great to watch. Like, she's really engaging with an audience. Like, she chats and she tells stories, and always delivers a really good solid performance. Like, I'm never really a big fan of the phrase "she's a girl's girl," but I feel like she really is. Like, the fact that she has a song that's called "That's My Friend You're Talking About," which is basically like, you would never say the mean things to yourself that you're saying to your friend. So we'll say, don't talk. So, essentially, that's what I'm saying to you. Don't talk about my friend like that. Yeah, and I love that vibe of hers. The stuff she's putting out at the moment, and newer stuff, I think is a lot more sort of, it's a little bit less poppy than her first two albums were. It's a little bit more stripped back, but it's this beautiful emotional quality to it on stuff like Motel on the Moon. That kind of, I just want to get away and I want space from this relationship, and then Jealous of Myself, which is really, that's a heartstring tugger. I tell you now, that is just gorgeous. But then she's, we'll throw in those like fun moments like Somebody Like That, and there's a song she's got with Matt Stell as well that I can't remember the name of, but that one I really like. And it's just a really fun night, and just full of warmth, and you can tell she loves playing to audiences here. Like, I mean, she sold it out as well. It's not like it's a 300 person venue, but she's hopefully working her way up, because the last time she was here and did a London show in the summer, it was the Grace, which is the upstairs bit of the garage, and that's like half the size, and she sold that out as well. So hopefully she's gonna go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, the Matt Stell song is Over You Is You.
Yes, and I love that. I think it's really, I love the album version of that, but her version on her own, I think, works really well as well. Yeah. And also, you may have just seen the ears of mascot number 3 popping up.
Oh, hi, Connie.
You can just say hello. Yeah. You might just get ears. Sorry, folks.
That's fine. We'll go. And then the final gig that we didn't get to in February was the one that we went to together.
Yes, it was.
Well, we kind of went to together. We hung out during the day, but when we bought our tickets, you managed to get an upstairs ticket. Oh, hey, Connie. And I got a downstairs one. And it was at Shepherd's Bush Empire, which we don't like, but we'll gloss over that. Oh, man, what a gig, though.
So good.
It was so good. It was the last stop of the tour, maybe? Yeah, I think it was the last stop of the tour. Yep. And this was the Heart First tour by Kelsea Ballerini, supported by Georgia Webster.
Yes.
They were both fantastic from start to finish. We had such a party. We had a really nice day, actually.
It was really
fun. Me and our friend Huma ended up taking a detour through Surrey to try and get to your house. Then we drove into London because the trains were up the creek. It was an interesting day. I forced them to watch the Six Nations with me in the afternoon whilst we had great barbecue.
Well, I was quite happy to watch rugby, I'd like to point out. Yeah, the others not so much. But...
we met up with some of our other friends there.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good day.
It was really fun, and the show was just fantastic.
Yeah, I really liked Georgia Webster. I hadn't really heard much of her stuff before that day. I actually just made a quick playlist of her and Kelsea Ballerini and put it on shuffle for the drive down.
Yeah.
And every time one of her songs came on, I was like, oh, this is really good. It got me properly in the mood to see her. She was fun. She was energetic. Yeah. She writes really, really openly and honestly about the experiences of your late teens and your early 20s. So it's not going to be absolutely word for word relatable to a wider audience. However, you see her perform it and you are hooked because she's just so engaging.
Yeah, so much energy, like bouncing around on stage.
Ex's Best Friend that I really like. And then, she's just, it's very poppy. I can't pretend it's not. But it's so fun. It's so upbeat. And she's very much like Kelsea Ballerini was when Kelsea Ballerini first started out, so it really worked with her being
it definitely felt like a good fit.
And then Kelsea came out. What a show. Solid show.
Yeah.
It was one of those shows that everything is very tight, everything is very well rehearsed, everything is very, we know what we're doing and we're just getting on with it.
Yeah.
Some shows like that can feel very robotic and very not very engaging because it just feels like they're going through the motions. This couldn't have been further from that. Much as it was very tight, very well put together, it was still so authentic feeling, so real, and so engaging. I think that until I actually sat down in the car that day with that playlist on, I'd forgotten just how many big songs Kelsea Ballerini has.
She really does.
She has such a back catalogue. And it was so nice to hear some of those as well as all her new stuff.
Yeah.
So this tour happened just after Rolling Up the Welcome Mat had come out, but was not originally intended to be a tour to support that EP. It was to support the album from the previous September.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of stuff from Subject to Change, which was really good because it was so lovely to hear that live.
Yeah.
But she did add a couple of bits from Rolling Up the Welcome Mat, and they were some standout moments.
Oh yeah. Like, what was the
punch you in the gut type feels. She played Penthouse, which she had been playing on the other dates.
Yeah.
She then decided on the encore to play Leave Me Again. And yeah, both of which just got such a good reception because they were just absolute gut punchers. But there were so fun moments. I really liked it. There was kind of like Universe felt like a bit of an interlude, if that made sense.
A little bit,
We'd had a lot of really good fun stuff, and then we quietened it down a little bit. Then she did a couple of other kind of more acoustic bits, and then we picked it back up. But I really liked that moment in the middle with Universe.
Yeah.
I also really liked hearing some of her older stuff all mashed up together. Yeah Boy, Dibs, Love Me Like You Mean It, all together. Was it Love Me Like You Mean It or Peter Pan? One she played in full.
I think it was Love Me Like I can't talk. I think it was Love Me Like You Mean It, and then Peter Pan she did separately.
Yeah. She played Homecoming Queen with Georgia Webster, which was really, really nice.
Yeah.
And then we have to talk about You're Drunk, Go Home.
Oh, that was so fun.
As she said, and just before she played it, she's like, this moment, the moment in this in the middle has got increasingly unhinged as we go along. Just make it better. And we did.
Yep.
It's the bit where it's like, no, it's not You're Drunk, Go Home. That was really fun. It was If You Go Down, I'm Going Down Too.
Yes.
It's hypothetically, if you ever kill your husband bit, just goes wild. And it was so fun.
It was
sparky, great connection with the audience. She did stop and chat in between songs. Yeah. Loved it. And I wouldn't say the best part of it, because obviously like the whole show was amazing. Leave Me Again, obviously the first time anybody's ever heard that live was a really special trip to London. She also got to come out on stage, and I saw a video of her talking to fans afterwards about this, and announced that due to the reception of this tour and the reception of the audience in London, her booking agents in the middle of the London show booked the Royal Albert Hall for next year. So we have no further details on dates of this upcoming Highways Festival that's coming up in May, whether it's just her own show. But Maren Morris has done her own show there, so I don't doubt that it could be her own show.
Oh yeah.
That's all we know. And all she got told, I saw the little video, was like, she came off stage after the main bit about to go on for the encore, and they're like, we booked the Albert Hall for next year, go and tell them. And she's just like, what?
She's like, okay.
And she just runs out and was like, should we do this again at the Albert Hall next year? And all of the crowd just went, yeah.
And entire audience just goes, yes.
But the video of her just being like, she just like stared at them by the sounds of it off stage. It was like, oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
So that is a lot of fun. And I think it was so good. I think for me, the thing I'll add is that I really like that we got to hear a lot of the Kelsea stuff.
as well, because obviously she hasn't toured that.
Oh yeah, that's
because
true.
it came
Yeah.
out right at the start of the pandemic. So getting to hear Hole in the Bottle I freaked out when she played that, because I loved that song so much when it came out.
Yeah, definitely.
Just when she played that, and I lost it, because I'm like, I love that song so much. So
yeah, I think I came to Kelsea Ballerini a bit late to connect with her first album. I was past that point in my life, and so I didn't engage with it as much. So for a while, songs like Yeah Boy and Peter Pan, to start with, I felt like they were a little bit kind of immature for me. What I love most about her, though, is I kind of came in at the Unapologetically era, which is a classic album. It's brilliant.
Such a good record.
And she has just grown so much between each record. Not that the one before was bad. She's just really evolved as a person.
Yeah.
She just writes with her heart completely on her sleeve. So you get to take that journey with her. And obviously at the minute it's taken a slightly more melancholy turn as she's rolled into the era of rolling up the welcome mat, because that was a whole record about divorce, which is always going to be a tough subject.
Yeah, no one's made a fun divorce album.
If I'd have been super into country music at the time that the first time came out, which was album 1, I probably really would have enjoyed those tracks at the time. I still do enjoy them, don't get me wrong. But what I love most is the fact that you've really been able to follow her through this and feel connected to her as a person. She sings about her. She writes with other people. Obviously, there's their influence.
Yeah, but it
always feels really true to herself.
Yeah. It always has this authentic feeling about it.
I think when I first started really liking country music, you'd have been like, do you want to go and see Kelsea Ballerini? And people were still playing tracks from the first time a lot. Miss Me More was just coming out and stuff. I'd have been like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'd have gone, because I do like it. Now, when it came around to this, I was like, oh yeah, now I really, really want to go. And I'm so glad I did, because it was so much fun. And I will be like clamoring for those Albert Hall tickets. Like, I will want to see her live again.
Same. Like, I feel she's really evolved as a performer as well. Like, I saw her three times, because she was an opener on Lady A's tour here in, I want to say, 2018, with Brett Young. And then she played in 2019. She was the country act on BBC Radio 2's Live in Hyde Park shows that I don't think they've resumed them post-pandemic, but they used to do those.
I think they've now been turned into the BST Hyde Park, haven't they?
I think possibly, yeah. But that was, she did really well there. So that was just around, that was shortly before Kelsea came out. And then obviously she couldn't tour here. So I'm excited for that Royal Albert Hall show. But every time I've watched her perform, she's really evolved in her stage presence and how comfortable she is in terms of that engagement with the audience and opening up. She's also like, I got to interview when she did that show as well, and she's such a sweetheart. So I'm very, very glad to see that she's just growing and being so embraced.
And rolling up the welcome mat has really catapulted her career.
For sure. Like
she was already a big star, don't get me wrong, but I think she shared a screenshot of a text and like it had done complete numbers compared to Subject to Change. And Subject to Change was obviously popular and well received. But it really opened her up. She's been everywhere since that as well. The US version of That's My Jam, she's on there, and things like that. She's just been she's more
visible, I think. She's done like loads of podcasts. She's done and it's a really interesting phenomenon, this. I feel that like it seems to be that a lot of country women seem to have their big, like we've just seen it with Carly Pearce as well.
Their big moment comes off the back of their divorce.
Was not doing terribly at all, and then put out 29 and it just exploded. So
I think it's because, without getting too into it because we're over time and without getting too deep, it's very relatable to a whole swathe of other women. Where much
People
as,
generally, like, I've spoken to guys who've said like the Kelsea EP hit me
yeah,
at the singles, having gone through similar
it
things.
is relatable to everybody, don't get me wrong, but I think that radio is absolutely hell-bent that women don't want to hear women, and I think that 29 and Rolling Up the
Which-
Welcome Mat are two very solid pieces of evidence against that.
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
was
the best way
very,
to
it
sum
was
up
very
without
telling
getting
that
too
women that
political.
yeah, it was very telling that women suddenly started to have hits in
Yeah.
the pandemic because everybody went to streaming.
Yeah.
And also that we've now had 2 back-to-back female number ones on the media-based radio chart in the US.
Yes.
For the first time in 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's great, but it's depressing at the same time. It's like,
Yes, but congratulations to Carly Pearce and Lainey Wilson for that,
Yes.
because it was What He Didn't Do and
Heart Like a Truck.
Wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
Good, but we are at time, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're a little bit over, but not by much, which is a record for us.
Yeah. So
We will put in the description. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I think all we've got to say is, we'll put in the script. We'll put everything we've talked about in the description. We are on social media.
Yeah.
So we are Country Monthly on all platforms. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
We not have a TikTok.
We don't have a TikTok. Yeah, I feel we should get it just so we have the name, but I don't know if we're ever going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know what we'd post on it though. But yeah, we also have a couple of playlists, one on Apple and one on Spotify. I need to update them since we did the C2C episode. I haven't had a chance, so I'm hoping to do that today. But any songs that we talk about, and when we talk about albums and we pick the top 3 tracks, we will put them on that playlist, so you can go and you listen. And that playlist started when we started this back in the summer, so there's a lot of stuff from 2022 in there as well. But you can go and find the artists on that Spotify and Apple playlist, so they will be linked. I don't think there's too much other stuff to link today. We didn't refer to too much kind of outside of what we were focusing on. I'm trying to think if any big gigs. Well, there's been quite a lot of gig announcements actually. Amanda Shires is coming back, Lukas Nelson.
Yeah.
Zach Bryan, you're not going to get tickets for now, I'm afraid, if you weren't registered, but that's coming up. Highways Festival is coming up in May. There's also a lot of really good albums and stuff coming out in April. We've got the new Ian Munsick album has already come out, which we're loving already.
Yeah. The Jake Worthington album as well is really
Jake
good.
Yeah. And there's more coming that I can't think of.
And loads of stuff is lined up for the summer as well. Like, I think June is going to be a very good month for albums.
Yeah. Madeline Edwards and Mara Morris have both got gigs in London.
Yes. So Madeline's is the 7th of July at O'Meara, and Maren's is the 5th of July at Kentish Town Forum.
Yeah.
Somebody who actually goes to Kentish Town and not Shepherd's Bush.
Yay! Good, because it's a better venue.
She knows what she's doing.
So yeah, there's a lot of tours coming up around the summertime, and so there's a lot of good stuff to be had. It's a good time to be. I thought that we were really truly spoiled in 2022. And I wondered what 2023 was going to shape up like, but it's actually shaping up really well.
It is. And we're only a quarter of the way through the year, so hopefully plenty more
really
to come.
good solid albums already out, loads of great singles, and we've got a lot of really good quality live music coming to the UK. Tommy Prine played again last week and things like that, so it's a whole mix of up and comers, big names like The Works. So
we've got people like this. I mean, we'll talk about this in more detail. That we've got, there's some really big tours this month as well, but we'll talk about those in our April episode, which will be coming to you in early May. So
Laura will talk to you about that, because I'm sad and not going to any of them for various reasons. So my next gig is not till May, and it's killing me. But yeah, we will see you then.
See you then. Thanks for joining us.